Toothpaste, toothbrush in your mouth now. What?
Matter. You gotta be mad at me like you mean it.
Eloise, you brush those teeth. Don't make me come in here and have to say it twice.
Nice.
This is actually something that you helped produce, right?
Right. I've produced a lot of movies. I have financed a few, and this is one where you put all your money into it. Yeah, I just, look, it's difficult for me to fall out of love, you know, and I read something just because someone else doesn't think that it fits their thing, or maybe even worse, that maybe it's a movie that shouldn't be made. I don't know. No one ever said that to me, by the way. Everybody actually loved this script, but it still wasn't going to get made, and I could not allow that. And so it was up to me to figure out a way to get this made, and that's how I ended up having to do it.
And the story is so interesting because the writer-director, it's part of his story, correct?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he experienced this. His wife's sister died prematurely, you know, of AIDS back, you know, in the day, and got a bad blood transfusion, and had a biracial baby who he and his sister, the father was not going to be involved in the life, and so he and his wife raised this baby along with the grandmother down in South Central. So it was really a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And it was a great window in to have this conversation about race in America.
Yeah, it's a very honest take.
Yeah.
How was it doing, you know, your ending speech? I mean, that's a pretty...
That was a great speech for me, and I think that speech will obviously live in my filmography forever. But movies can do that. Sometimes they can be things that we wish we said.
Yeah.
And, you know, Black or White will, I think, take its place as a classic movie. It's just really smart, and it has those great speeches that you kind of want to revisit.
Yeah, and I love the fact that each character is kind of introspective. They're kind of helping better themselves. Specifically, your character has a moment where he wants to learn his language.
Yeah, the movie's, for all its bluntness, is surprisingly warm. It's surprisingly funny, and you know, nothing in life suffers from a sense having a sense of humor, and this movie has it. You know, an unbelievable amount of humor in this, and warmth. The fact that your heart breaks and the fact that a lot of people cry is also a reality of watching Black or White.
Oh, this skinny one right here. Is it supposed to be me?
No.
It's not my favorite.
Now you play, she is ferocious. She's out there. I love it. How was that character for you?
Well, I love the character because she is so different from who I am as a person. I don't know, court of law, you yield to the judge. But Rowena is one of those people. She gets an idea in her head, and it's win, win, win. And I had fun. Mike just made it wonderful and allowed me to just go places with her.
I love the fact that she wants to keep the family together. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Well, I think at the center of, or should be, at the center of every life is the foundation, and the foundation is family. And it's important to her, and I think that's why she definitely wants to make sure that Eloise has a presence in her family. And I think because the maternal grandmother passes away, things get different, or she thinks that they will be different, and intervenes in such a ferocious way.
Yeah. And what do you think the movie says about fatherhood and like talks to fathers today, hopefully?
You know, I think that the most important thing in a child's life are the parents and the love that they receive from their family. And fathers have to be present and involved in their kids' lives as well as moms. And I think what it shows that the love that a father gives a child is not different from the love that a mom gives a child, because people, for some reason, think that it is. But ultimately, you know, love is a boundless energy, and it's required for growth. And that's one of the things that I loved about this movie. Not to use loved so much, but it just really resonated with me on so many levels.
Yeah, and it's interesting because originally starting out, I mean, this is a very pertinent subject today. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the fact that we are still talking about race, I mean, I feel like it should be an anachronism.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's not. But the only way to move forward is to understand exactly where we are in the conversation. And that's been the problem, is that people have just shied away from having that conversation. And Mike presents race relations in a very different way by making it about a custody battle.
Yeah, and
it brings it closer to home.
I think it's a very honest take, the conversation that goes on literally in the movie.
Yeah, it is.
So also, I think each character is very introspective. Can you, were you introspective when you were thinking about the movie and just processing it?
Well, my job as an actor is to be quite introspective,
Yeah.
To be a detective, to figure out what makes this character tick. Yes, I'm an introspective person by nature, though.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Each character kind of has to work on themselves, though. I love that because everybody's flawed.
Well, I mean, there's not a person in the world who isn't flawed.
Yeah.
Some people don't realize they have flaws, but everybody has a journey, and that's what I thought was interesting, because a lot of the journeys are parallel to each other. And, you know, we sometimes can't see that the other person across the aisle from us is very similar to us.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought was brilliant in Mike's execution of the film. We have my son's character who's battling addiction. You have Kevin's character who's battling addiction, yet Kevin's character doesn't really know that he has a problem.
Yeah.
He does identify it, and from that point he can heal. But that's what I thought was just really beautifully played out.
Thanks for watching. To find out more about entertainment news that follows your values, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and like us on Facebook, so you can know before you go.